Welcome to episode 2 of the No Bullshit Training Podcast with your hosts, Christian Summers and Joab Murphy. Today we're going to be talking about training around injuries and our business and fitness goals for this year. So, obviously we've been getting a lot of questions on Instagram. We put out another post on our stories yesterday and we kind of got too many questions, but which is mint. It's not a bad thing. So we've kind of just brought it down to just 2 really good ones that we thought are going to be good for us to talk about and a bit more interesting, we think, as well. So first of all, training around injuries. So Joab, I know you've had a fair share of fucking injuries and niggles along the way. I know you dislocated your shoulder like three times or something like that, playing rugby and in the gym as well. Why don't you start by telling us your worst injuries, training setbacks, how you've kind of trained around them, and your general thoughts on training around injuries and how you should deal with it.
So just make sure that's clicking. So I've had quite a few. So I think you've been there for maybe a couple of them. I don't know. I can't remember. But there's a couple of things that I would look for when people get injured. Is often they'll stop training completely, which was sometimes a mindset thing of being, I've had an injury, I've been set back. It's more like, poor me, I have nothing to do now. I'm just going to be injured for the next 6 months, go completely out of shape, and that's it. Like I'm just basically being very negative about the whole situation.
Full victim mentality type thing.
Yeah, like a victim mentality of, well, poor me, I'm injured. I can't do anything now. I'm not going to do anything for the next six months because I'm injured. But really, you can actually do a lot of things with when you're injured. Like there's that really good book, the Gift of Injury from Stuart Mcgill, when he talks about how you recover from injury and how you can, improve on yourself each week from having it's even like a mentality thing of everyone gets setbacks in life, and it's how you overcome that. So in itself, it's a mentality thing, I think. Also, I think a couple of times when I've got injured, I've come into the gym the next day and done what I can, and people have been like, I can't remember. It was either rugby league training. Where was that? I remember turning up and being in a sling, and I'm ready to train the next day. And it will be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm here to train. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to pussy out, or I'm not going to not train." And there's actually research that goes with. I've actually got a client at the moment who's going through an ACL reconstruction. So they've got an immobilized limb. So there's actually research suggesting that if you train the opposite limb, so if they're doing like single leg squats, pistol squats, single leg RDL, stuff like that, you're actually gonna, if you train the good leg, you're actually going to maintain muscle on the opposing leg. So, and there's research that suggests it will keep muscle mass in both legs. With keeping muscle mass in both legs is to carry on training and not getting that negative mindset of, I'm not going to do anything for the next 6 months.
Yeah, so it's mad that really, isn't it, that you can actually train one side and the other, and the side that's immobilized. By the way, guys, immobilized. Is it meaning like in a brace, or is it just
like in a cast? Yeah, like a cast or boot. Yeah, basically you're not using it on.
So like mental that though, you can still get some kind of stimulation how the brain and the body works, where you can still is it retain strength, or is it some muscle as well, or both?
Yeah, it's muscle as well. Yeah, both. You can retain muscle.
That's fucking massive. Yeah. That's massive straight away. So if any of you guys, like, you hurt your leg or your arm, your shoulder, there still could be some incentive to train the other side. And obviously, if, for example, that side's still in, obviously, I presume it'll still probably be a bit stronger on one side when you fully rehab the other side, but you can sort that out with plenty of single arm work and stuff, I'm sure, anyway. So
you can do. unilateral work when you come back and stuff and try and even it out.
Yeah,
but
man.
It for that in itself be like, well, you want to be ahead of the game of when you come back and you're keeping that strength when you do come back, because we're going to have like massive atrophy on both legs anyway when you're going to come back anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, man. And I think touching upon the mental side of things, something that helped me massively, and I actually stole it from Martin Bell like 7 years ago. I heard him say it, and it was focus on what you can do, not what you can't do.
Yeah.
And that for me, whenever I've like been injured or picked up some like niggles and stuff, and even at times where you still can like address and maybe carry on progressing in certain movements, just focus on the shit you can do, and mentally you're going to be in a much more positive mindset because you're not dwelling on what you can't do, and you can just crack on that way. Mentally, I think that's a game changer as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
but it's just, yeah, it is mad when you think about it, about how you can keep strength from both legs by training the opposing leg. I feel when I talk to people about that, they don't fully understand like how that's possible, but it's crazy. Yeah, the research.
Yeah, the brain and the body's complex, isn't it, man? And with your shoulder, obviously this is a few years ago, so obviously you got to remember, guys, me and Joab, obviously we're still developing in our training knowledge and our mindset and stuff as we're getting older. But you did your shoulder injury. First of all, you'd have been quite youngish. How old were you when you first did your shoulder? Dislocated it.
First year of uni, so 19.
Been 19. And how did you
19? Yeah.
Did you train around that? How did you kind of overcome that one?
The first time I got in that, I think I got more in that depressive mindset of, well, I can't play rugby anymore. Like, what's the point? And then I didn't really. The first couple of weeks, I think everyone goes through it the first time. Like the first major injury that you get set back, and you're like, well, what am I meant to do? And then you kind of like, I've got 6. It's going to be, I don't know, 6 months max of all the rehab and everything. So what's the point? But then I think once you go through that first time, and you get in such a bad position, you get set back so far that if it happens again, I think your mindset's ready for, right, it's not what I can't do, it's what I can do. So I think even if you say I injured my shoulder again and say next week, I wouldn't think, what can I do? I can do shoulder work. I'd think, right, this is a chance for me to get my legs, to improve my legs or my muscle, my strength, or be in that mindset of what can I improve during this time, instead of thinking I can't do anything.
Yeah, man, the obstacle is the way. So it's like, yeah, it's fucking epic, exactly, really. So it's like just seeing it as an opportunity. And that's it, and it's perspective, in it. It's not necessarily. It's like trying to see it for what it is, and not seeing it as negative or positive. Just seeing it as, well, I suppose even in that case, seeing it as positive, which is like that's epic as well. So that's fucking great, man. And with regards to the second and third time you did your shoulder, I remember you did it first playing rugby, and at one point you did it jerking, didn't you? So if guys who don't know what jerking is, it's what is it, Joab? You explain the jerk.
Yes, it's basically so Olympic is in Olympic weightlifting. So there's 2 main lifts. There's the snatch and the clean and jerk. So the clean and jerk is like a triple extension movement where you clean the weight, a barbell weight to your shoulder, and then you jerk it overhead in a split jerk position. So what I was doing was with my brother at the time. We were at uni. He was preparing for an Olympic weightlifting competition, and I was joining in. I was getting quite into it at the time, and as we were doing jerks off the block, so the blocks are like neck, shoulder width, shoulder height, and you're jerking the weight overhead. And we were building up to a 1 RM or 2 RM, something like that. And I was getting quite good. I think I was building up. I can't remember the weight. I think I was up to like 125 kilos at the time. And my brother was like, right, we'll go up again. We're going up again. And I just remember I caught it. And then as I caught it, it just my shoulder slid down, and I remember just coming out, and I remember being like a bit hard being it. I remember being gutted because I didn't think it would come out again, because it was maybe like a year afterwards. So I didn't, and I had an MRI, and the doctor suggested that it was fine with the cartilage and everything, and that I wouldn't need surgery, it would be fine. And then the second time, I think I still weren't really, I think I still got a bit down over it, but I felt a bit more ready to come back of, right, I'm going to just carry on training and do what I can do. Like I said, I saw you in the gym the day afterwards, training in the gym.
Yeah, that was the time that you came straight to rugby training the following day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not actually doing, not actually training in rugby, to clarify that.
Yeah,
like,
you turned up there, you did what you could do.
But I did the gym, I did the gym training, and yeah, I just felt, you do feel better for it, I think, like just in a mentality perspective of, I'm not getting down over it.
Yeah. So just to clarify, guys, a 1 rep or 2 rep max is like a weight that you can. So 1 RM or 2 RM is a 1 or 2 rep max. It's like maximum weight you could probably lift for 1 or 2 reps. And Joab playing games with 125, and that's how his shoulder came out. So it's quite a heavy weight, to be fair. So yeah, no, that's mint, man. But yeah, with myself, I suppose the biggest one that stood out to me most recently, I've had a few like niggles and a couple of setbacks with training and stuff. But one of the main ones was in 2019, my back went 3 times. And the first time it went, I thought I'd seriously fucked my shit up. I did a powerlifting competition in back end of 2018, and I weighed in at like 101 kilos, which is pretty heavy for me. It's like 16 stone. And then following that, I thought, right, you're a bit of a fat mess. Let's diet down a little bit, lose some weight. And I got down to like 92 kilos, so about 9 kilos lighter. And I'd done a 240 kilo beltless deadlift in the gym. Now at my comp, when I was a lot heavier and I had a belt on, I did 260, so only 20 kilos heavier. And I was 9 kilos heavier in body weight and I had a belt on. So my strength was probably quite similar, and I was quite a bit lighter. And I remember it was supposed to be like, I was supposed to feel like I had one in the tank, and I definitely didn't. I got pulled out of position.
It's still quite a lot there. It's like, yeah, it's 90%, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Yeah. So that would taste it. And to be fair, I felt all right. And the following week I had a deload, and on the weekend, which I don't often do, I went out on the bank holiday and I got pissed up. And it was on, that was on a Sunday. It might have been, on a Sunday evening I went and got pissed up because it was a bank holiday. And then on the Wednesday I had deload deadlift session, and I didn't even do some deadlifts. I was doing some bent over rows, like real light, like 60 kilo bent over row. And I'm thinking, ooh, my lower back feels tight. And I put the bar down, and then I stood off the deadlift platform, and I just got like this shooting pain up my back, and everything tightened up. And like I just fucking had to like lay down a sec, because I felt like I couldn't walk. I felt like someone kicked me in the back. And at this point, I was like, oh shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? So at the time, I'd heard about Dr. Stuart Mcgill, which is like one of the leading, is deemed as like the one of the leading back at like lower back pain guys in the world, basically. He's a Canadian fella, and it kind of looks like the skinny Colonel Sanders, doesn't it? It was a bit like the KFC guy, but a bit skinnier. But he's regarded as like one of the top dogs by like in a lot of the strength conditioning industry and that. So I bought his book. Joab mentioned his other book earlier, the Gift of Injury, but at the time I bought The Back Mechanic, Fixing and Treating Your Own Back Pain. And I followed some stuff in there, and it settled down a little bit. Like, it was really bad. I was like, I were icing it. I was doing hot baths. I were on ibuprofen. I got some CBD oil cream stuff, and I don't even think it was CBD.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got fully like lubed up in that stuff, and I was just like, could hardly walk. I felt in absolute agony. And I kind of sorted it myself, and then I did some tests that are in the book that kind of like deemed like whether it was like, they say flexion intolerance, extension intolerance, all this kind of stuff. And at the point, based on what I was reading, it was kind of saying it could be like a disc bulge or something like that. And at the time, I didn't know much about it. And then I went to Pro Sport Physio Huddersfield. They kind of made me feel a lot more calm about it. And they're saying just because you're getting pain it doesn't necessarily mean there's structural damage, and vice versa. It's kind of a bit more complex than that. And they kind of settled me down a bit. And I followed the rehab routine that they set. Really good. At first, I was like, fuck. And what I'd read is a lot of these guys that work with that Stuart Mcgill as well in America, like another powerlifter, he'd have like 8, Lane Norton, he had like 8 to 10 weeks off barbell training. So at first, that's what I did. And I just did like, dumbbell goblet squats and didn't load the spine with a barbell at all for like 8 to 10 weeks. And I thought, right, that must be what I need to do. Anyway, that was like in March, April time. So around now. And then in August, I'd managed to get back up to training. My strength was back up. I was doing some block pulls from just below the knee, and it went again. And I was like, okay, we dealt with this before. Just do similar process again. I kind of did it again. I did it for like 6 weeks this time, and I thought, fuck this. Start training again. Got deadlifting. I was in Nottingham at the time. I was away with my partner Penny and a couple of friends, and I was quite light as well for me at the time, about 90 kilos, and I was doing some deadlifts with 160, not very heavy, sets of 10, something like that, and it went again. This time I'd lost my patience. I was like, fucking, at this time I wasn't ready to take time off and fuck about. And because I'd kind of gained the knowledge from what I learned from the pro sport guys, that it's not necessarily as sinister or as bad as I thought. Like, it's definitely not a prolapse or anything like that. The way they explained it to me was very simply, my back was doing too much work and my hamstrings and calves, they were doing fuck all. There's an assessment that they use at pro sport where they have you press down into their hand with your foot. And at this point when I did this test, I could deadlift 240 kilos, by the way, guys. And this guy lifted up my foot like it were a fucking wet paper bag. And I was pressing down as hard as I could. So like that just showed how little coordination I had with my hamstrings and my calves doing their job in like my deadlift. So this time I knew there was not wrong with it. The next day, I went back in the gym and I did the bar and 40 kilos on squat and deadlift. The day after I went back in, did 60, 80. The day after I went back in, did 100, 120. And the next week I was fine. And that was like my main major like injury and setback. And to think I could have saved a lot of months if I knew from the start it wasn't such a sinister thing that was going on. It was more of just a locking up of the lower back going into spasm because it was just doing way too much work. And since then, touch wood, I've had the odd achy back, but no back issues. And yeah, that's kind of.
It's true though. How did you feel when you did it the first time? What was your mentality coming out of that?
First time, I was like, I remember thinking, "Fuck me! I hope this gets better soon." So yeah, the mentality definitely got better as it went along. And now, I think one of the main things with the injury side of things is one, getting some kind of education, speaking to people that know what they're talking about. That's like a massive one. Because sometimes you can fearmonger yourself and you can read stuff online and it's like you can read some like dodgy shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, you
always think the worst as well, don't you?
Yeah, like, and I took 10, I didn't have to take, in hindsight, I didn't have to take 8 to 10 weeks off barbell training. So I learned a lot from that. And yeah, it's massive. Like now, for instance, the way I deal with injuries now compared to then, and that's only 2 years ago, is like so much different, so much better. It's like recently, good example, so obviously I'm going to compete in powerlifting again this year for the first time since my first comp in 2018. And bench press is one of the main movements that you have to do in it. And I was getting some mad forearm pain and then shoulder pain on this left side. So first of all, I addressed it by going to the physio. Second of all, I found a pain-free movement that resembles somewhat close to the bench press. I was able to do floor press fine. So I've been working on the floor press, PBing in that whilst rehabbing my shoulder. And now my shoulder's pretty much fine. I can bench press again now and it's golden. So yeah, that's kind of my experience with dealing with injuries most recently. A bit long-winded, but yeah, a couple ones recently. But you definitely, it's one of them things. Don't do what I did the first time, where you think you've got to necessarily. Basically, I think the best thing is don't try and take it into your own hands and buy books and read and try and learn yourself. Try go to someone who has that extensive knowledge already, and just go pay someone that's good. If you're in Huddersfield,
or if you can, if you can go see someone that's got a professional experience of like, sometimes if you go for the NHS, like you are going to wait a bit longer, but definitely go, follow up with it, because you need to know what's going on. Like,
yeah,
I think it is important to see the physios and follow the full rehab program, and like you said, or if you can go private with what was it? What's the company called in Huddersfield that you saw?
So there's two that I'd recommend in Huddersfield. One is Pro Sport. They're the one I'm actually doing their mentorship at the minute. I'm learning their methods of how they do rehab so I can help my own clients. So there's Pro Sport Physio in Sallindown. There's also Nick Taylor at Valley Rehab Huddersfield. It's in Marsden. I'd go to either of them if you're in the Huddersfield area. Yeah. But yeah, to kind of conclude, I know we've kind of told you about our experiences there with our injuries in the past and more recent, but to kind of outline that in a more of a clear, concise way for you guys to take home and apply yourself. If you do find yourself getting injured, first of all, go to your local physio, or if you're in Huddersfield, go to the ones that I mentioned. 2, with the movement pattern or muscles that you've injured, see if there is a pain-free range of motion you can manage. And if there is, and it's pain-free, load it up and progress. Because end of the day, we only have so many years of training in us, and if you don't have to have a setback for 6 months and not progress, then don't have the setback. Do you know what I mean? If you can progress on something, do exactly. It. Or there's no time like the present.
Completely immobilized, yeah. And if it's completely immobilized, or in a cast or in a boot, you can train the opposite limb, and you don't need to be in that negative mindset. Also,
that's it. And should we give some examples of what the stuff they could do?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah. So obviously, if you hurt, say for example, we'll go movement based. I think that works better in my head anyway. So say for example, okay. horizontal pressing. Yeah. Say most common one, bench press. Try a floor press. Try a press up. If the press up and the floor press is a bit too hard, just start pressing against the wall. See what you can do and gradually load it up, and just see what you can manage. Whatever movements you can do pain-free, load them up. That's with horizontal pressing. Another common one, I suppose, is like knee pain squatting. If you find out that in a deep knee flexion, so at the bottom of a deep squat, you get knee pain, try a box squat. Maybe start a bit higher and then gradually lower it. You got any other examples, Joab?
So, yeah, I would like to say that I've seen also working the antagonist muscle of the group. So what I mean by that, so if say you had a pressing injury, so you're doing a horizontal press, like you said, maybe working the opposite muscle, the muscle group, so doing pulls and stuff, working that range of, because sometimes it can just increasing that stability in that joint, and if it's pain-free, it's perfectly fine to do that. So especially, I know, and then you could do the same, say you had patella tendonitis, so I saw knee, you can obviously start doing stuff like Louis Simmons suggests doing like reverse sled walks, so walking backwards and improving that knee joint and hamstrings and glute work from the posterior chain, and working that area. So I would suggest that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you got to think as well, guys, say for example, like what Joab said, with working your upper back muscles, say for example, if you can't do the bench press or whatever, and you still want to get your upper back working, like you bent over rows, you face pull, stuff like that, it's still going to also help maintain that range of motion as well. Because essentially, you think of any sort of like horizontal row where your elbows are out to the side, it's essentially the bench press, but just in reverse. So it's going to help keep that range of motion at your shoulders and your pecs as well. But yeah, go see a physio, do what you can do, focus on what you can do, and just keep getting better the best you can. Right,
yeah,
that's all I've got to say for injuries, really.
To make sure see a physio first, or get some medical advice first before doing anything. That is the main.
Yeah.
I think that taking away point from that.
Yeah, if you've got the money, definitely go private with a physio. You get seen when you can do, and yeah. Right, that's that one. Okay, business and training goals, man. So, should we go business first or training first?
I think training's pretty good, isn't it? I think training's always fun to talk about.
Yeah.
But business is good as well. But training.
It is. To be fair, it is the no bullshit training podcast, not the no bullshit business podcast, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll go training first, man. You go first. I've just been speaking. I feel like I've been speaking forever, man.
Right. Okay. So for me, this year, I'm gonna either compete in a powerlifting competition. It's either going to be the GPC or IPF. So they're two different federations. One's with raw, so just with sleeves. So sleeves is like a support that's just neoprene, and then the GPC is with wraps. So it's more of a harder material, what would you say the material wraps are?
I've never used the knee wrap in my life. They run about wrapping the knees and knees.
They're like a fabric. Yeah.
I've never used one in my life, so I don't really know.
Yeah. It's like it's like a stiff fabric that you wrap around your knee that gives more support around your knee, which then can make you lift more weight compared to just a neoprene sleeve. It's either going to be one of them two. I'm not 100% sure which one we'll do yet. They're both is what IPF is considered the elite drug-free powerlifting federation. The GPC is a bit of it's not as well known, but the weight classes are slightly different. So for me, it's either deciding if I want to be 110 kilos or 105 kilos.
120.
Sorry, 150 kilos. No.
Yeah.
No. So it's me deciding whether I'm going to, which I don't want to put a cap on. So for me, I just want to enjoy it. So I will decide closer to the time.
Numbers.
See where.
What do you want to lift? That's what the people want
to know. What numbers do I want to lift? Oh, I don't know.
Guys, should we explain what powerlifting is for people that don't know?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Do you want me to explain, or do you want to? Yeah, you explain.
Oh, I know you go for it, man. You're in a row.
All right. Okay. So the 3 compound lifts of a powerlifting competition is squat. So a barbell back squat, which is when the barbell's on your back and you squat to a 90-degree angle and then stand back up for the most weight. You get 3 attempts at that to achieve the most single one rep max weight. I think it depends if I go sleeves or with wraps in that. So I reckon around 200 kilos in sleeves, I reckon will be a good number.
You can do more than that. He's talking shit, guys. He's saying smaller numbers so he doesn't give himself as much pressure. And really he's thinking 220 plus, definitely.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to call it out and then
he's thinking 220. Yeah. He's gonna do 220.
I am thinking 220.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And then bench, I'm reckon, anywhere above 150 kilos. I'd like to get 160 kilos. Nice. That would be a good goal for me because that'd be good. And then deadlift, I reckon, I don't know, if it's all the training goes to well to plan, hopefully anywhere around 275. I'd like to hope. I reckon I've got it.
Yeah, buddy. That's that'd be over the 600 pound mark, that wouldn't it?
Yeah,
600 solid pounds.
So I didn't really explain. Bench press is when you I'm pretty sure everyone knows what bench press is, but it's when you're bringing the barbell to your chest and then all the way up to full extension. And then a deadlift is a barbell movement where you're picking the weight from the floor to standing position.
So. Yeah, man, epic. Some juicy numbers there, man.
Yeah,
what total that be?
You've called me out. You've called me out. I've got to go.
Let me see what I'm saying. So let's say if you get if you get a 220 squat and you said 150 minute, you'd like a 150 plus bench, wouldn't you?
Well, I've hit 150 before, so I reckon I've got it. I can do that again.
155 bench, and then a 275 deadlift. 650 kilo total. That's pretty good. That's pretty sweet, that. Yeah. And obviously, guys, in the GPC, if he does the GPC, he can use knee wraps, which makes it can lift a little bit more on the squat. And then with the GPC as well, you get to use a deadlift bar. So in the IPF, you use what's called a power bar, which is like a stiff 20 kilo bar which doesn't have any flex in it, doesn't bend at all. In the GPC, in the GPC competition, you can use a deadlift bar. So I haven't actually used one before, but I'm a geek, so I know about it. It's a thinner barbell, so it's easier to grip. And it also has flex in it. So when you're lifting the bar off the floor, if it's a heavy weight, you won't actually have the full weight of the bar in your hands until you get like, I don't know, a few inches into the movement, I don't think. So it's like kind of designed to help you lift more weights, I suppose. That's pretty fucking cool, that, mate. That's awesome.
Big numbers.
Big numbers for the what?
I've got to back up my bullshit now.
You got to back up your bullshit. That's it, man. Like fucking
the no bullshit podcast, and now I've got to claim that it's no bullshit and got to get it.
It can't. It's not bullshit, mate. It's gonna fucking happen, mate.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, you've called me out, and I've got to do it now. I was going to play it safe, but now you've called me out. I've got to do it. Right. Yeah, so what's your numbers for this year?
So
276 deadlift.
Yeah. So 221 squat. I won 56. No. So on the squat, if it's sleeves, I want 200 plus. I want 200 minimum. I think even if we did do the GPC, I'll see what it's like, because like they have. By the way, guys, they've got like qualifying. What we'd be doing is like an open competition where anyone can go sign up and go enter. If you hit a certain total, so if you lift enough weight, you can go compete at like the nationals. And I think what I'll probably do is, if there's no chance of me qualifying for the nationals in like this first comp, I'll probably do it in sleeves just so I can beat my previous best in squats, just so it's comparable. So
you actually got that though.
Yeah, I think so.
You played it safe, didn't you? You played that safe in the last competition. I reckon you've got more in you.
Yeah, I think if I do the GP, so I'll start off by I'll do it in the same way you talk about it. So with the GPC, obviously there's the 105 or there's the 100 kilo weight class. They're the ones that I'd probably go for. Right now I'm weighing about 96, 97 last time I checked. So I'm quite heavy.
Baby.
About 96, 97. Not too much though. So I'll probably, if I do the GPC, I'll do the 100 kilo. But you never know. To be honest, if I fucking pack on a load of weight and it comes to like back end of the year and I'm like 104, I probably won't cut. If I do the GPC, I'll probably just do the 110s and just lift as much as I possibly can do. Even if it means I won't place as favourably. And then, because to be honest, who cares in these like open first comps? And then if I do the IPF, it would be the 105 kilo category, but I think I'm probably going to do GPC this year. And then with my squat, if I do it sleeved, I want 200 minimum. If I do it knee wrapped, I have never used knee wraps in my life. I know that there's some kind of skill acquisition element to it where you got to get used to squatting them because it changes technique slightly. But in my head, the next logical step is 220. That's what I'd like to do if I do knee wraps, 220 in my next comp, 200 minimum squat if I did it sleeves. And then bench press, it's got to be at least 150. At least is what I want. I'd love a 160, but minimum 150, man. I'd be pissed off if I didn't. And then deadlift, a 280 would be delicious. I haven't deadlifted 260 since November 2018, and I weighed 101 kilos then. So it'd be nice to beat that by 20 kilos. My training, based on my numbers that I'm doing like a lot of rep work at the minute. Based on my numbers at the minute, I think my predicted maxes it was like 259 point something last week. So 280 might be a bit fucking out there, but you never know. If you pack on the mass, pack on the body weight, and my hands don't get too fat, I think I can fucking do it, especially in GPC, one of them bendy bars.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, so that's what I'd like to do this year with the training side of things. And I'd say I don't even know when the competitions are, to be honest, mate. Do you?
I don't have a clue. I don't even know if they're on this year. That's the only thing. If they're not on, you're like to think it would be at least at the back end of this year, but I don't know.
I definitely think there's going to be some on unless they cancel them again, because the GPC, they made a thing the other day that I think on the Facebook page they said they were going to announce some competitions, and then the IPF, they don't think they've announced much yet with the bigger weight classes. So I don't know what the IPF are saying, but I do know the GPC are going to announce some competition soon. They might have already announced them, man. I haven't even checked. One of my clients just sent me So there's going to be some comps lined up.
Really?
And even if there isn't some comps lined up, I don't usually do this, but I'm just going to work towards and just peak in the gym and just fucking give it something gym if not. And that's pretty much it, man. They are my main training goals. Oh, another big fucking training goal. Don't get fucking cocky. Try not to spacker myself. Try not to fucking spacker myself anymore. So try not to get injured. That's another big one. But if it happens, the obstacle is the way, and I'll have to fucking take my own advice and just focus on what I can do. But hopefully, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch wood as well. I don't want to get injured.
Right. That's training goals. Now, business goals. Me and Joab have got our own business venture that we're going to go into, but we've also got our individual business goals as well, I'm sure. Or even if it's not like super specific, I suppose we may as well tell the people. So, should we go our joint business goals first, or as individual?
I'll go individual if you want.
Yeah. Do you want to outline yours, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. So for me, this year, I'm going to go, my goals are to build or establish a very good online personal training business. For me, it's going to be a big push for everything, really, for improving the quality, improving results, improving long-term goals for every single client. I want to have a solid, for me, my aim is to be above 30 clients every single month with everyone getting results. And I want to have like a mixture of athletes to general population to just maybe even older clients who just want to stay healthy. I want to have a good range of mixture of clients with all different goals. Because I think having a broad client base gives you that experience of working with anyone. So for me, someone will come see me, I know exactly how to attack or how to plan their strategy going forward. And I think the only way you're going to do that is having experiences with everyone. And for me, also, I'm going to go self-employed one-to-one with personal training, so one-to-one clients. Next month when the gym's open, and I'm moving. If for people who don't know, I'm moving up to Huddersfield next not next week, but the week after. So
yeah, boy,
2 weeks.
And for those that don't know, Joab's in Cornwall. That's where he's from. If you couldn't already tell. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they could tell that.
Location yet to be confirmed on the personal training place, innit?
Yeah, I'd see what. Not 100%, but we'll find out in the coming weeks. But
awesome.
It should be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well, and building new client base in Huddersfield, and within the next year, just be one of the go-to personal trainers in Huddersfield, I guess, is the goal.
Sick guy. Fucking epic, mate. Mint gold.
Yeah, big. Aim big.
Aim big. Aim big. Eat big. Get big. Epic. With regards
look
to
big.
Look big, get big, go ball. What? Who said that? With so I should probably talk about my goals then, shouldn't I? So
yeah, I should have probably asked you. But I don't really.
Right,
I talk about myself. I enjoy talking about myself too much.
I know you do like it.
I don't really give a shit about you. I just want to talk about myself.
Yeah, lovely. I'm sure the people care. The people care. Right. So my business goals, dickhead. My business goals, to be honest, is just keep getting fucking epic results. I want to get more. I need to get more transformations and more goals, more results where it's like, where you look at it and you think, fucking hell, is that the same person? And so far, I've got some in the pipeline, got some epic transformations. Some people are doing really well. And then secondary to that, I just want to look after the clients I've got and just fucking give them the best service I can do, get better at that. And yeah, just manage working with all these different types of people just even better. And basically just get the best results people can get. Now, in terms of clientele, majority of mine are like, despite me coming from an S&C background, majority are fat loss clients. I've got a couple of clients that want to build some muscle and a few clients that want to get strong. Now, I'd love to work with some powerlifters. I'd love to work with people that want to compete in the first powerlifting competition or the second, or just want to get really fucking strong. That's who I want to work with now. I still love helping people that want to get in shape, and I still want to get some, like I said before, some like ridiculous transformations, and really help change people's lifestyles and get them in the best shape of life. But I would really love to work with some people to get them strong. I've got a couple at minute that are following, I suppose, my methods just from like the way they're all doing similar things, obviously tweaked, because the way I like to train my clients is a bottom-up approach. So kind of based on the individual responses, how they're finding the training, how they are improving, what they can recover from, all that kind of stuff. But the framework's similar with my clients, and it's working really well with my 3 guys that are doing squat, bench, deadlift at the minute. So yeah, I just want to get more results, get better, level up, and just keep learning as well. That's another one.
Yeah, that's definitely something else that I want to up my CBD of CPD. Always CBD. I don't get high. I mean,
yeah.
CPD of like continuing professional development of myself, and always.
Yeah, you're always doing that, man. You're always reading. For the people that don't know, Joab, probably one of the most knowledgeable trainers I know, and we've both got the same degrees in his undergrad and his master's degree, and he's like one of the only PTs I know where the guy's fucking reading books every week, and training books, not reading fucking Harry Potter. He's reading like this guy's learning shit all the time. I'll speak to him and he's like, and he makes me feel bad. I'm like, fuck, I need to start learning, man. Which I do, but he's definitely getting after it. He's a good trainer to be around. And if you are looking for a trainer this year, if you don't choose me, make sure you get hit up fucking Joab Murphy, man. Right, so
choice. Cheers, bud.
That's oh, you fucking hey! You've got to look after number one. You've got to look after number
me. Second choice, Mcgill. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Another thing as well. I would actually like to now. The way I structure my week and my clients now, I've got to the point now where I can take on more online clients. Before I was quite hesitant to take on too many people. Whereas now I feel like I can handle more online clients. My schedule's better. I don't waste as much time with my days. So yeah, online coaching clients, hit me up. Can take on some more people now. 1-to-1, not as many spaces, but online I can do. So they're my business goals personally. And then with regards to our business together, for those that don't know, me and Joab will be opening a gym at some point in the near future. Now, location, size, type, all these things are still being discussed, and we have not decided yet on. We've got some ideas in mind. I think we've both kind of gone with the idea of it being more of a private, exclusive gym for clients. But apart from that, we haven't really made too many decisions as of yet.
No, yeah, it's still a bit up in the air, but it's gonna.
Up in the air, you make it sound like we're not doing it when you say stuff like that.
No, I mean, I said up in the air with like discussion of the size, what's going to be in what equipment we're going to have, stuff like that. It still needs to be discussed, but
yeah, man,
it's happening. It's happening. There's no doubt in my mind that it's not happening.
That's it, man. That's it, and it's going to be shit hot. Epic. It's going to be epic. Yeah, I think one thing that I've always said from the start is, even if it's small, if it's big, I don't really care if it's necessarily small to begin with, but it's going to have the best shit.
Yeah,
even if it is a small gym,
the best quality product going. That's where it's going to be at. We're producing the highest results with knowledge and backup with everything we do.
That's it. Probably throwing some seminars and stuff like that for his members, clients, whatever as well. There's all sorts of stuff that we still need to discuss and go forwards with. But in terms of his joint business, that's kind of like the main big goal at the minute. And pushing to be able to do that. See how, obviously, coronavirus, see how that affects it. But it's not going to stop us, is it? Ultimately, it's happening.
It's the wheels are in motion.
The wheels are in motion. Witness the
Okay.
fitness. Right, man. I think we've covered it there, buddy. Shall I wrap it up?
That was quite good.
Yeah, I'm loving it. We'll have to get a guest on. That's what we'll have to do next.
I think, just, let's not like Sam Hurst.
No, not Sam Hurst. Can't have him on. He swears way too much. And we can't have Joe Frobisher on either, because he's a nasty piece of work. Can't have him on.
Yeah, he is.
He's a bag of shit. Right. I'll wrap it up. Right, guys. Thanks for listening to episode 2 of the No Bullshit Training Podcast. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please give us a 5-star review. And if you're listening to this on YouTube or you're watching this on YouTube, then please subscribe, like the video, share to your friends, share on Instagram, and have a good day. See you in a bit.
See you later, guys.
See ya.